Hey guys, welcome back. So if you follow me on social media, you've seen that I was in Vegas early February. I was actually there for a buyer's trip. Planned on vlogging the entire Las Vegas trip, but it just didn't work out. I honestly just didn't get enough footage. So I figured I would use little tiny bit of footage that I do have and kind of make this video just to explain what magic is and the process a little bit. So if you're interested in maybe starting your own clothing line, being a buyer for a store, or even starting your own online boutique, this video is definitely for you, so keep on watching. So magic in Vegas is typically held every February, usually around Valentine's Day, and every August for these noises. This camera picks up on everything. This year it was a little bit early for some reason. They had it February 5th through 7th. I flew down there the 3rd, but I got in like super late at like 11 p.m. The actual show, the trade show, it was the 5th, 6th, and 7th. Sourcing, however, started on the 4th on that Monday. And don't worry, I'll go through what sourcing is and all that good stuff. If I'm looking down a lot, I wrote some notes just to make sure that I don't leave anything out. Let me just kind of walk you through the registration process. So I registered online on ubmfashion.com, I believe is the website. I'll link it down below. But that's kind of the host for all clothing trade shows, and then you can go and see like the new upcoming trade show, where it's at, how to register, all that good stuff. You do need a seller's permit or tax ID number and a business card to get into the show. You can also register there on site. It does take a little bit more time. It's way easier if you register ahead of time online. But once you get there and you're all registered and ready to go, you check in. And once you check in, they give you a badge like this. And you have to carry this badge around the entire day. This is your ticket to get in and out of the show. If you leave, you need this again to get back into the show. They have a little barcode on the back, and they scan this each and every time you come in and out. So within Magic, there are 2 different exhibits held at 2 different convention centers. There's Project Women's. That's the first exhibit. Typically that's where we go first at Aura, and that's just like more contemporary women's fashion. They also have like Project Women's, Stitch, and Kids Club at that exhibit. That one is held at the Mandalay Bay Convention Center. Then the second exhibit is at the Las Vegas Convention Center, and that is where sourcing, footwear sourcing, and WWD Magic is held. Like I promised, I'm going to touch base on what sourcing is first, because sourcing is typically the very first day of the show. So sourcing is for those of you that are interested in starting your actual own clothing line. Sourcing is a place that has a bunch of different patterns, fabrics, manufacturers, so you can just kind of meet up and find a manufacturer that works well for your brand and your company. And you can also test out and feel and see different fabrics and patterns. Now for Aura, we are just a women's boutique, meaning we buy and sell clothing. We do not make our own clothing. So we typically go to Project Women's, which is at the Mandalay Bay Convention Center, and then we usually go to WWD Magic. So the difference between the two are Project Women's is usually a little higher end. Like I noticed that their price point is a little more expensive. It's contemporary women's clothing. WWD Magic, that's where a lot of online boutiques and Instagram boutiques get their clothing from. The price point is a little bit more affordable. The stuff is trendy. So the way that I like to think of it is Project Women's has those are pieces that are timeless. They just never go out of style. They're a little bit more luxury, I guess. And then WWD Magic, those brands, and you know, both are, you know, you can find good quality at both, but that's the fast fashion, the trends that are in now, the stuff that's on, you know, like I said, a lot of Instagram boutiques, that's where they get a lot of their stuff from. If you've ever been inside of Aura, you would see that we pay really close attention to the quality of our items. We're really big on having really good quality stuff. We also do like to stay on top of trends, so we typically go to both exhibits, Project Women's and WWD Magic, so that we can stay on top of trends but also have really good quality pieces. So now let's just get into the buying process a little bit. How I like to do it is I like to go around and look at different brands and pieces and decide if I like that brand or not. And if I do, then I would exchange my contact information and I would ask them for a line sheet. They typically would email me a line sheet, and then I like to place my orders when I get home so that I can look at all the brands that I saw at the show, and then I can place my order later on, because it just gets to be confusing and I don't want to like order an orange shirt from this brand and then the next day I see another orange shirt and I think that they're, you know, different enough, but then once I get both orders, they're just way too similar. I hope that makes sense. But you also can order right on the spot as well. A lot of brands love it if you order right on the spot. Now, if you want to order on the spot, what you can do is you would find your rep for your area, if they're there anyways, or somebody from that brand to help you out. They'll typically give you a rack and they will help you. They'll help you organize everything. So everything that you like, you would put on your own rack, and then afterwards you can narrow it down and then go ahead and place your order right there on the spot. Now, a couple really important questions to always ask. You want to see what other stores in your area are carrying those brands. Make sure that you ask that. A lot of brands actually won't even sell to you if a store in your area already carries their product. It's just conflict of interest. Secondly, you want to ask if they have a minimum order requirement or how much their minimum order. You do not want to buy from a brand that requires you to spend $5,000 for a minimum order. Like, that's crazy. I mean, your whole entire boutique would just be that brand. You also want to ask about their shipment dates, just to make sure that you're getting your stuff in a timely manner and staying on top of your inventory, and when you promise your customers the new inventory for the new season. So that's really important. Make sure you really like feel that's the purpose of the entire trade show, is to really feel the quality of the material and the fabric in person. Like, that is so important. Don't just, you know, glance around their booth and then pick out a couple of shirts without really examining how it's made and the quality and all that good stuff. Oh, there's also just a few little tips that I almost forgot to include. One, be cute, but wear comfortable shoes. Trust me, like, the convention is huge. Both the Mandalay Bay Convention Center and the Las Vegas Convention Center, huge, literally full of brands. You're gonna be there all day, probably like all 3 days. So wear comfortable shoes. Also, they do have seminars. You can find all the seminars on the website and pre-register for those. Those are really helpful. Some of the seminars tell you what the upcoming trends are gonna be, the best sellers, all that. Like, I know for spring of 2019, some of the trends are mustard color, lavender, ruffles, animal print. So all that stuff is really good to know, especially if you're an online store. You just want to know the new and upcoming trends so that you can plan your inventory accordingly. What else? Yeah, I mean, and just have fun. Like, it's really cool. They had Raven Simone there. Sometimes they have singers and performances. They always have a DJ. They have really, really dope picture areas. So I think that pretty much wraps it up. I touched base on registering, the different exhibits, yeah, making sure you pay attention to quality, a few really good questions to ask the brands, how to purchase on the spot, how to get line sheets. Yeah, it's just easier for me to walk around and get line sheets emailed to me from all the brands that I like, and then I like to come home, look at all of the line sheets, and then place my order via email. It's just so much easier, but you definitely can order on the spot. And yeah, I think that's it. If you have any other questions, please leave me a comment below. Otherwise, you can send me an email. I'll respond to your emails. I hope this was helpful, and I will see you guys next time.
Yeah, tell me about your outfit, Sabrina.
So today I'm wearing this body. What is this? Cheetah print? Leopard print?
Cheetah leopard.
Cheetah leopard from Urban Outfitters. These trousers from Zara. This $50 cardigan from Zara. You don't need to worry about my shoes. I just had to be comfortable.
And where are you at?
We're at Magic in Vegas, Las Vegas.
Hey.
Hi guys, welcome back.